Hi friends, my name is Victoria Murphy, a licensed real estate agent here on the island of Oahu, and today I am joined with friend and loan officer Ridge Nelson.
Hey guys, my name is Ridge Nelson and I'm a senior loan officer with the Veterans Mortgage Source and Celebrity Home Loans.
Today we're going to be taking you guys through some of the common things that I'm asked as a real estate agent that I really can't answer because it's really more directed towards a loan officer. So Rich, the first thing that I hear about is always timeline. How long does it actually take for this pre-approval to happen? What can I expect?
Okay, so depending on the income source or what someone does for work, it's going to vary a little bit. But in general, from when a loan officer speaks to someone looking to get pre-approved for a mortgage to when the pre-approval is complete, it should not be that long. So I'll use two good examples to kind of set the stage for what this looks like. Number one, active duty military. Barring some sort of like very extraordinary circumstance with a lot of properties or self-employed or anything like that, just assuming standard active duty, they should be able to be pre-approved that day. Because really, in reality, you need to get an LES, get the credit checked, and then a couple other little things, but they should be able to have numbers ready to go shopping that same day. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, let's say somebody is self-employed and they own maybe a couple properties. They're self-employed, going to potentially need business tax returns. If they own a few properties, they're probably going to need mortgage statements, things like that, to verify how much the actual housing expenses for the other properties they have are, how much rental income they have to offset that mortgage liability, and then also need maybe a profit and loss statement to see what their revenue looks like for that current year to validate the past couple years of self-employed income. In that scenario, maybe it takes the borrower a few days to get the documents together, might take another day to go through and kind of digest all the documents. Maybe that will take a couple days. So it's going to vary based on what someone does for work, but active duty military, it should be right away. For a standard employee, someone who's not a W-2 employee who is a civilian just looking to get a conventional loan, probably that same day as well, maybe the next day, and then someone who's self-employed kind of on the far end of the spectrum, potentially a few days.
Okay, perfect. So if it's been a week, something's wrong.
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
Okay,
there should be
perfect.
follow-up there.
All right, awesome. So the next thing that I often hear are hidden fees. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes. So whenever you think about fees or closing costs, that's one of the major things that will possibly cause stress to someone buying a home. So that ultimately kind of lies with not understanding, or maybe the loan officer did not explain what all those fees look like. And you can kind of like look at those in a few main categories. Lender fees, third-party fees, and then prepaids. Lender fees are things like origination, processing, underwriting, and then discount points possibly as well. Having a thorough understanding of what that means and a realistic expectation of what to expect if there's going to be a cost for the rate. Third-party fees are things like your title fees, so title insurance, settlement fee paid to the title company, recording fee paid to the state, appraisal credit report fee, a few other third-party fees like that. And then lastly are your prepaids, which is your taxes, insurance, interest, funding of your initial escrow account, and then HOA fees if you're buying a condo or a townhome. All those are going to vary based on the purchase price, size of the loan, a few different factors, maybe when you close in the month, when you close in the year, things like that. But understanding all of those fees and understanding what the lender is actually charging you, and then which fees just are inherent in a real estate transaction, like your title fees and taxes and insurance. But having a thorough understanding of those things will really help a buyer be able to compare apples to apples and not apples to oranges, if that makes sense.
Awesome. Just personally, I want to say how important it is about origination fees. So when we were shopping for investment properties, I know I reached out to you to see if you could do a property in Wisconsin. Unfortunately, you couldn't. So we started shopping at a couple of different lenders, and one did charge origination. It was a 3% origination fee. And the difference in that, I think, was like $15,000 in the closing costs. And so obviously we didn't move forward with that specific lender. We went with someone else that had a lower origination fee. But these fees really matter. So not only as a professional in this industry, but as just a regular consumer, homeowner, please read those closing disclosure statements. They are critical to make sure that you're successful and you're not surprised.
Yep, and if you don't understand them, ask your loan officer to explain what everything on that loan estimate or the closing disclosure means. They should be able to explain what it's for and why it's necessary. If they can't, that's probably a red flag.
Awesome. So the other thing is the difference between, a loan officer and a mortgage broker. Talk to us about what that is.
Okay, so you can get a mortgage from really kind of three main areas: a correspondent lender, a bank like maybe a large bank that does a number of things such as checking and savings and investment accounts and a number of things, and then a mortgage broker. A mortgage broker, they're kind of like the middleman, and they're going to outsource their underwriting, and they're going to look out at a number of investors and see what the rate is. They're very specific on the rate, but ultimately they don't have as much control over the transaction, which possibly could be an issue, not having control over that. First one is a correspondent lender, and so that's what I am. I'm a correspondent lender, and all I do is mortgages, which means at the end of the day, I have, the underwriter works for us directly. I have a direct line to them. My processors, underwriters, everything like that is in-house, and our sole focus is doing a mortgage transaction and having complete control over that. That's important to us because at the end of the day, we have control over that transaction, which allows us to provide the best possible experience to someone buying a home and closing on time. Because at the end of the day, if you can't close or you're closing late, that's your principal objective as a mortgage lender. If you can't do that, that's problematic. So if you have any questions about your financing options, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. My name is Ridge Nelson. I'm with the Veterans Mortgage Source and Celebrity Home Loans in Honolulu. I do conventional USDA, VA, and FHA financing.
My name is Victoria Murphy. I'm a licensed real estate agent here on the island of Oahu, and we would love to help you find home in paradise.